Hello everybody, my name is Average Election Enjoyer. Today on January 29th of 2026. And today I'm going to be going over two special elections that we saw on January 27th, so just 2 days ago, inside of Minnesota, two House districts. The first of these two House districts was House District 47A. As you can see here, it is just downtown of St. Paul. Sorry, I'm just gonna get a picture of this. Let's see, it is just outside of St. Paul here. This is Minneapolis over here, taking up this area over here. This is a very blue district. As you can see, it was uncontested in this past general election, and the last time it was contested was 2024, where it was actually a fairly close election here, 60 to 40, 60 to 40 again, and in 2020, this is actually held by a Republican. However, 2020 is when it was redrawn, so this is the seat that Republicans won in 2020, and this is the seat that Democrats have held since 2022. However, this seat being uncontested is something to be noted. See, that is just what happened there. Let's see if there's a vote count. It doesn't even. There it is. This is the vote count. As you can see, only 1,913 votes in for this uncontested election, as compared to in 2024, there were 23,000 total votes for this election. So huge drop off. However, because this election was in fact uncontested, there's not too much that can be seen. However, in the next election, this is going to be something. Some sort of conclusions can be drawn here. As you can see, District 64A located entirely within the city of St. Paul. So if you remember this last district, outside of St. Paul here, this other district is right here. So if we make these two even and we put St. Paul in the middle here, you can see the other district right here. This is District 64A, and this is District 47A over here. So on this map, District 47A would be over here. This was the last seat that we were talking about. You can see it does in fact take up. It is located, as I said, in the city of St. Paul, just outside of Minneapolis. And if you know anything about politics, you've been staying up to date, you know what has been happening inside of Minneapolis. A couple of very unfortunate tragedies have occurred within the city, with people losing their lives, with these current crackdown of ICE, and this real movement against illegal immigrants and just immigrants by the Trump administration. There's been, as I said, two tragedies that occurred within the city, as well as other tragedies that have been occurring elsewhere across the nation, involving people being shot and harmed, and all sorts of things that have been occurring with protests and whatnot. A lot of civil unrest occurring because of these two incidents, and this race is going to serve as a very dramatic example of how these recent events can affect these elections here, and it might have big implications for Minnesota as a whole, in terms of Senate elections, gubernatorial elections, that sort of thing. So as you can see, in the Minnesota State House 64 general election, Meg Lugar-Nicolai defeated Dan Walsh, the Republican, 95.6 to 4.4. The Republican only receiving 254 votes out of a total of 5,811. This race was, of course, immediately called. But when the first third of the vote went in, the Democrats, Meg Nikolai, had 1,500 votes, and the Republican had 33. This, while it is most definitely a very blue seat, we have not seen a swing like this from a seat that is this Democrat yet. This is the first time in these special elections that we have seen it. As you can see, in 2024, Dan Walsh ran again, receiving 16.6% of the vote, with Kelly getting 83.2% of the vote, 20,000 to 4,000. So you can see this is a strong Democratic seat. However, you rarely see elections this lopsided, because usually they just be uncontested. Usually, even at this point, you'd see elections uncontested. So I just gotta respect the tenacity of Dan Walsh here, even though I honestly don't think that Republicans should have even ran in a race like this, because this is just a demoralizing result for any Republicans. If you're a Republican in this district, it's got to be demoralizing, and also just in the general area of Minneapolis, after the tragedies that I mentioned, Republicans are going to be on high alert here. If there's any Republicans in this area and in the state as a whole, you're got to be concerned seeing a result like this, because see this race ended with, it was a 67% win by the Democrats here, 67 points here, and that changed into a 91-point victory by the Democrats. So big overperformance in a already extremely Democratic seat. And now obviously, this is, I'll quickly break down why this could be a big problem for the Republicans in this state. And the reason is because Minneapolis is a huge vote sink for the Democrats. As if you know about a lot of these states, a lot of and especially you see in the Midwest and a lot of states in general, like Nevada, or a lot of these Democrats' victories come off the back of huge performances in urban areas like Minneapolis and St. Paul and all of the sort of major cities in these states. So if Democrats are able to really run up the score, like Democrats usually win major cities by big margins, but if they're able to really run up margins like this, like they did in this past in this special election, they're able to overperform in these cities, then it's going to make the Republicans' math to win a lot more difficult than it might have been if they're able to keep the cities closer. So this result here is a scary result if you are a Republican, because you could see the actual immediate backlash of policies in regards to immigration. You can see the backlash that in these cities, and there are ICE operations going on in a lot of cities around the country, and if you see backlash like this in all of those cities, then Republicans are going to be in for a rough time in 2026, a very rough time. So this is a very promising result for the Democrats. Of course, very scary result for the Republicans, and it is a lopsided victory that we have not seen yet in these special elections. This is the most lopsided victory we've had as of thus far in a contested race. And of course, I just want to end off by repeating the message about the tragedies that have been occurring involving the unfortunate deaths of people, of protesters, and I try not to be political in this channel. However, I think it is important to note that anybody being killed by any sort of government agencies. There should never be a blowing off of something like this. You shouldn't ever be just trying to immediately take sides. There needs to be investigations. There needs to be, of course, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos, and I'm not going to, go into that, but it's never right to immediately start off with rhetoric one way or another without having an investigation. And of course, you do need to have it. You can't just blow off and protect people who are, if there are deaths involved. It doesn't matter if you're an immigrant. It doesn't matter if you're a citizen. You can't. It's never okay to just blow it off and be okay with people who are dying from just protesting or doing whatever. If you're one way or another, you're seeing it as domestic terrorism, it's never okay. There is a reason that we have trials in this country, and there is a reason that we have a system that is designed to look back and investigate and ensure that these sorts of tragedies do not continue to occur. So I'd just like to wish anybody who's out there protesting that they stay safe, and that of course don't use violence. Don't make sure to comply, of course, because your lives are infinitely more important than everyone's lives is infinitely more important than any sort of cause, because every life lost is a huge tragedy and should be avoided at all costs, and that is a message to everybody on all sides of this sort of crisis. So on that note, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.